Like,
so I gotta ask, like, what? Because you were there a lot or a fair amount. What is like a day in the life of Rekieta? Like, is he mostly high, like all the time?
I can tell you what I saw from time to time. Again, everything I'm telling you, I don't want to get into speculation. Everything I'm going to tell
whatever
you guys,
saw, whatever
is
you saw.
firsthand. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks.
While I too, again, let's remember, while I too was being a degenerate, going outside of his marriage, scandalizing his relationship, scandalizing his children, all of these terrible things, being a bad father, being a bad husband. But a day in the life was this. I would get up. I'm an early riser. I do a morning show. I would get up on a weekend, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I would just sit and stare at 3 passed out people.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
I would just go, all right, what are we going to do? I'd go take a shower or something. I'd kill some time. And then I kind of wake everybody up. I'm like, hey, can I go get breakfast? I remember one common thing with this relationship was that I was the one who was always going, hey, can we go do some shit? Hey, can I go get this? Can I go to... I was
You fed the kids, right? You fed them
to get out of the fucking house and do some shit.
Wait. Where were the kids during all this, by the way?
They would wake up later, but they would still come and knock on the bedroom door.
Whoa.
By the way, we slept 4 of us to a bed.
What the?
Like, we all slept in the same bed.
Yeah,
I would sleep with Kayla. Nick would sleep with April.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the sleeping
That was the sleeping arrangement. Was April and I on the ends, Nick over by April, Kayla over by me. So sometimes in the morning, the kids would knock on the door and say either I'm hungry or this or that. I would say more times than not, I would go out and I would get them some food, something like that, because everyone else got up a little later than I did. Then there would be times where there would be fighting in the bedroom, or, you know, people were doing whatever they were doing in the bathroom, and someone would want something, and I would, more often than not, it was usually me who went and got it.
Wow.
I was just not into, like I said on my show, I did coke 3, maybe 4 times in total the entire time. Probably 4 lines, 4 bumps in total the whole time I was there. I did develop an affinity for Molly. It just seemed I wouldn't drink.
Pills
and I would
or powder?
I hate powder. I hate it. One time they had me do the licking thing.
The licking thing, yeah.
Like,
you wanted more control.
I had Nick use papers and wrap it in like pill form, and I would take it that way. I preferred it that way. And what I would do is I just wouldn't drink that night. I'd pound water and Gatorade, and I would chill because everything was so dramatic and everything else. I would have fun. I would enjoy myself.
Yeah.
But I'd still realize, holy shit, dude, you're 37 years old and you're a father of 3. Cut the fucking shit. So after about half a dozen times of that, done with that too.
So let me ask you, what was the general sense, do you think, of how aware the kids were that their parents were on drugs all the time?
I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew.
Really?
I don't.
How about the sense of 2 people? There's a new couple in the bedroom sleeping with them. Like, no one, even the high school kid, wasn't like, what the fuck is going on there?
That I can definitely, I would say, if I'm just putting myself in their shoes, they're thinking, that's fucking goofy.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a little bizarre.
How old was the oldest one? How old was the oldest one?
Am I telling any tales out of school here if I...
no, it's known. The oldest kid was 16, right?
Okay.
So he knows something's happening. Like, let's...
Yeah.
You know, like, you're 16, your parents...
Every single one of those 5 kids, angels. Every single one of them, great kids.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, they had to know. I mean, it's...
Well, you're 16, your parents are sleeping with 2 other people daily, and there's
strangers.
Like, you know?
Let me ask you this. How were you introduced to the kids? Is it like, this is Uncle Aaron and Auntie April?
Mr. Aaron and Mrs. April.
Right, and that was like, what was the official story as to why you were around all the time?
Friends, just really good friends.
Right, okay. Were there any other friends that would come around, or were you the only ones in this arrangement at this time?
No.
Do you know if anybody else...
maybe that's what Nick meant by aggressively monogamous.
It was in the police report that it was a dirty home. There were clothes everywhere.
That police report is a fucking lie. That house is so much fucking dirtier than that goddamn police report said. Those cops went easy on them. I'm sorry.
Tell us.
Yeah.
You walk into that house. First of all, their observation, dust everywhere. 100%. I remember sweeping. I would sweep the floors. I probably swept the floors 2 or 3
You were a
times.
Janny.
You literally
a literal Janny.
Here's my thing, guys. I didn't want to sit in that fucking bedroom and bathroom all fucking day. I went out and did housework to keep myself fucking busy and see that the kids were all right.
Fair enough, yeah.
I would go out, and I also had a couple of missions. I'll talk about those in a second. But I would sweep the floors, dusty as fuck. I mean, dusty roads, baby. I mean, it was bad. And then you'd go to the kitchen island, you know, the counter area, just filled with papers and shit. You can't put anything on it. Then you go to the dining room table. And before I got there, I was so proud of this. I started referring to it as my table. Their dining room table was full of just papers and toys and all kinds of garbage and shit. And to me, like, I'm an old school, you know, I was raised old school Americana, like the dinner table. That's where you all gather and everything else. And I'm like, well, let's give these kids somewhere to sit and eat and everything else. So I got the kids together one day, and Kayla came out for this too. One thing I was really proud of Kayla on, when I would have projects with the kids to clean stuff up, Kayla would come out and join and be a part of it. And I really thought at one point, I'm like, I'm going to pull this woman out of this shit. I really am. I'm going to help. And it just, there was always a tractor beam back to Nick and the drugs and all that would just pull her back, unfortunately. But with the table, I got all the kids together and we cleaned off that table. I mean, we cleaned off what was garbage. What went to this kid's room. I made individual piles for the kids of their stuff, and they took it down to their rooms. And we get towels and with soap and water. We'd wash the table off, and we swept the floor around the table, and we got it clean. It was great. And I got the kids dilly bars for helping out cleaning.
Wow.
And this was a very foreign concept to them.
Wow.
Because they don't do any chores or anything.
Sure.
So you help them turn the crack house into a crack home, basically.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here as Mr. Nobility. It's like, hey, everyone's still doing blow in the back room, asshole. Good point. You're right, Ashton. But then the sink was always just full of fucking dishes and never done. So I would always, when I would come over after my show or whatever, I would just start going to work on the dishwasher and the sink and trying to keep that thing empty. And you know what the number one thing I always ended up putting in that? You know what that dishwasher was always fucking full of?
What?
Fireworks.
What?
Just go ahead. Give it your best. What kind of dish?
Sex toys?
Was it sex toys?
All right, you went a little deeper than I thought. Whiskey glasses.
Okay. I was thinking there's so many sex toys.
So
There's dildos.
he had to make sure the whiskey glasses were clean.
Wait,
but
really?
as for the kitchen table his kids ate at, or the floors that they walked on.
Oh, no, I still washed the whiskey glasses. I mean, those weren't...
No, I'm saying, but that was the priority.
Yeah.
The priority was the whiskey glasses, not a safe space for his kids.
I mean,
God forbid Lord Baldo drink out of a dirty glass, but go on.
And then the laundry situation. This was the biggest crime the police committed, was understating the laundry situation. There was dirty laundry from the laundry room in the middle of the hallway, out the door, around the corner, down the hallway, into the kitchen. Like into the kitchen area. There were dirty clothes. There were clean clothes in the living room, all over the furniture, all over the floor. They would be getting ready to take the kids to dance or something, and they'd be pulling out, like looking for tights and pulling in the living room for clothing. And you couldn't have company over at this house because where would you have them sit down? The carpets were disgusting, never cleaned, never vacuumed, anything like that. I vacuumed their upstairs carpets once. It was an exercise in futility. I never did it again.
Tell us why. Why was it an exercise in futility with the carpet?
Because there were, stains in it. It was so dirty.
It's like daily, though. It was just like, okay, you'd vacuum it next day or 2 days later.
No, it was more like the damage has been done.
Oh, wow. So it's that bad. That bad. Okay.
And here's the saddest part. Beautiful home. Anybody who worked for their money and actually valued what they had would thank Christ every day that they had this home. And this one was just treated like fucking shit.
Yeah. How about the mold? Was there mold? Did you see mold?
I didn't see mold.
All right, because the police said that there was mold in it too, which is kind of fucking,
I'll take their word. I'll take their word for it. They found cocaine. I'm sure they're not lying about that.
Yeah.
That would be funny. That's something Ricada would defend too. He'd like, look, guys, there was no mold in the house. That's horseshit. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean,
yeah. Wow. Okay.
Remember,
Okay.
well, Ricada actually would justify licking the bottle because he didn't want to get the carpet dirty. I guess that was a lie too, eh?